This MSc webinar is a primer on AQDs. This presentation contains audio narration. Please ensure your computer speakers are turned on to hear the sound. As we know, things change, publications and instructions are updated frequently, so always use a primary source online when possible. However, we will try and update this brief to keep up with current information. Our key reference is the Navy Officer Occupational Classification System Manual found at the mynavyhr.navy.mil website under the References tab. This manual contains a lot of useful information, like listings on service schools, subspecialty codes, and a point of contact listing for entries on your officer data card. For today, we're interested in Part D, which lists AQD codes. A link directly to the manual is provided below. AQD stands for Additional Qualification Designator. Here you'll see some definitions taken straight from the manual. In plain language, an AQD is a code that represents a certain skill or qualification may be required to perform a certain job or duty or to take a certain billet. This way, people can look at your record and know a little bit more about what kind of skills, qualifications, certifications, or education you may have beyond just looking at your designator and subspecialty code. Your AQDs can be found in a variety of places, like in the electronic service record on NSIPs. When you're getting ready for advancement, probably the most important places to make sure they appear is on your officer data card and on your performance summary record. Click through for a few examples of where to find these specifically in these documents. This is an example PDF generated from your performance summary record. You'll find your AQDs in the lower left-hand corner in the Special Qualifications box. Some of the AQDs may have the 3-character code and a short description, like here 2PT for a command fitness leader, and other AQDs may not have enough space, so we'll just include the description, like researcher. Note that you may have other things in this box that are not AQDs, as in student in this example. Here we have a PDF generated from your officer data card. You'll see the box Additional Qualifications in the lower right-hand corner. Unlike the PSR, your AQD box is just for AQDs, and all of them will contain the 3-character code as well as the year that you've earned them in addition to the title. There are many ways to earn AQDs, and naturally each AQD is going to have a different set of qualifications. However, some common examples would be you complete a school or get a certification, maybe you get an AQD for earning a certain degree or professional qualification. Duty in certain billets will get you an AQD, or some will be a combination of multiple things above, like duty in a billet, a specific master's degree, and a school to go along with that. Most AQDs are entered into your record by your detailer. However, there are some, like JPME or executive medicine, that require external validation before your detailer can enter them. Next, we'll go over some examples of detailer entered and external validation cases. Your respective detailer manages and assigns most AQDs. To request the addition of an AQD, refer to the Appendix D of the NUCS Manual Volume 1. Contact your detailer for guidance on required documentation, qualifications, and the overall process. AQDs will only be assigned and awarded after a record review or after the appropriate documentation is submitted to determine the eligibility requirements have been met. If you see a discrepancy on your officer data card, contact your detailer for guidance on correcting. Here is additional information regarding AQDs not managed by detailers. Please contact the respective AQD coordinator for AQDs 67 Alpha and 68 Mike. For other less common AQDs not entered by the detailer, please note the contact information provided on this slide. This table represents just a few of the common AQDs you can earn as a Medical Service Corps officer. These lists are floating around all over the place. Keep your eyes open. Stuff like this seems to come across my desk every 3 to 6 months. So if you have no idea what you're looking for, just look around in the community and see what you can find. Continuous record maintenance is both an important and thrilling part of being a naval officer. Specifically related to AQDs, check your records to make sure that any that you've already earned already appear there. And if so, do they appear in all your records? And have you been granted any by mistake? It's not uncommon for things to just appear in your records. If you haven't earned them, you have to go through the process to get them removed as well. And finally, if you redesignated or are prior service
or even maybe have earned some of these qualifications as a civilian, make sure that the appropriate ones find their way into your record. A 500-page list of all the AQDs isn't very helpful on its own, so if you have further questions, look to your specialty leaders, senior medical service corps officers, publications like the Rudder, Millbook, especially the Medical Service Corps Officers page, any local MSC officers associations, and it never even hurts to reach outside your subspecialty. All these can be places where you can learn how to get or what AQDs you should be looking for. In closing, AQDs provide information on your special skills, qualifications, and certifications with just a glance at your record. A list of them can be found along with their requirements in the Naval Officer Occupation Classification System Manual, Part D. Just like with everything in your record, it's important to be sure that these are up to date. And finally, seek help from a variety of mentors and others in the Medical Service Corps community if you have any questions or require any further guidance. This concludes the AQD webinar. If you have any questions or any information to add, we can keep the conversation rolling in the comments section attached to this webinar. Thanks again for stopping by.